And so it is my honor to introduce the practitioner graduation piece of our program today. And so we move into this other piece of our program. Today we're celebrating the graduation of our new class of practitioners of truth. This is a much loved and honored role in our organization, and so it's with great love and celebration that we honor them today. There's not a minister within United Centers for Spiritual Living who does not see themselves as a practitioner first. It's the active spiritual practice of practicing the presence and knowing truth that is the foundation of all spiritual work and healing. And so today we honor and celebrate these students who have worked so well to study the art and craft of the practitioner and to step forward in their ministry in this new way. And so today we have practitioners from the Global Heart Online class of 2009, the Universal Spirit Center in San Diego, Seaside Center for Spiritual Living, Vision, a Center for Spiritual Living, the Center for Creative and Conscious Living in Cyprus, the Center for Spiritual Living, Orange County, the Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Springs, the San Diego Center for Spiritual Living, San Diego, and El Corazon Global from Tijuana, Mexico. It's a great day. Yay. And so every year we choose someone to give the call to practitioners for them to step into this new ministry of theirs. And this year, Reverend Dr. Christian Sorensen will be doing so. Reverend Dr. Christian Sorensen is the director of the Holmes Institute, the San Diego Regional Center, and the senior minister here at Seaside Center for Spiritual Living. He served ministry for over 25 years and knows the power of this philosophy as he's demonstrated within his spiritual community and his life the power and presence of these principles. He was raised in religious science and is part of a lineage of ministers that has seen the great effects a practitioner can have as he watched his mother, Reverend Jackie Sorensen, with her full-time practice of a practitioner practice. And so we welcome him today to deliver the practitioner call to these graduates.
It's an honor to have been asked to share this with you once again. As you step out into your practitioner practice, I charge you to remember that your activity is not healing the sick and raising the dead, but rather working on having that continual conscious contact with Spirit, where in that divine mind there is no sick and there is no dead, where matter is not the truth. Because in this time, this era in which we are in, it's exciting for all the spirituality that is out there, but there is a lot of competition these days for your spirituality. It's like my mantra is better than your mantra kind of consciousness. My guru can beat up your guru. Or these high elevated states of we're almost better than that. If last night's meditation under the full moon was just out of this world, I cannot even begin to tell you. I have just found this high-grade wheatgrass that will attune a new kind of brightness and it's this competition that has gotten into spirituality that allows people to kind of miss where it is that they're going. And I want to charge you to remember that it doesn't matter what path someone is on and what modalities that they are using, that you are licensed in the realm of consciousness and thought, and that is it. It doesn't matter what path someone takes. When they're sitting in front of you, you have one thing to do, and that is to call forth that presence of God in the midst of that meeting. It is, Martin Luther King says, let us not judge a person by the color of their skin, and I would like to add, let's not judge them by their religion, by their path, by their accent, or what it is that they wear on their head. When someone is sitting in front of you, they are seeking to know the presence of God at a deeper level, which is why they have been attracted to you and your practice. They are sitting there believing in their fear. They are there wondering and questioning and sitting there, and that you get to assist them to choose between denying that dream that is in their heart or denying their limitations, because they have come to a place where they begin to believe in their fears. And all of a sudden, there's that sense of being trapped by that passion-sucking, brain-distracting images of fear that take hold. You get to remind them of the truth of their being, not to buy in to that critical thinking that says, don't listen to all that fluffy cosmic question kind of stuff. Just get back to your work. Do what it is you're doing. Go back to work. Don't pay attention. You do everything right. You get to buy a Honda, a little later, a Benz. Then you die. You get to assure them there's more to life than that. Even if people are saying, well, you got it pretty good. What else is there? But you get to ask yourself, what else is better? Not that it could be worse. You get to assist them to move beyond the rhetoric of the mind and move into that place of their heart and their soul and their spirit. That's something that remembers, something that allows them to trust that spirit that is moving in their soul and in their that deeper place, in that cosmic place, that which wants to remember, for them to trust. I hear people say, I could live in trust if I had that trust fund pumping the cash into my life. I could live my dreams. But I will tell you what, you get to assist them to recognize that they come to know their security and their safety not because of a trust fund, but because they are swinging through this thing of life. They are learning that there's more to life than just being safe sitting there on the couch, but there is more to life, and they will only come to know their safety and their security by moving beyond the money and the privileges and approval, to come to recognize that there is an infinite power and an infinite presence that is seeking to express itself as their very life. And no matter what this world can throw at them, they are greater than, and you get to sit there as a reflection for them to remember the truth of who they are, which is God expressing, no matter what is going on out there. They get to come and to be that transparency. God's not just this cheerful, manic road runner trying to make everybody happy out there. It is a spirit of life that wants to know itself, that wants to express itself, and that person that sits in front of you has to begin to believe that they can have it. I saw an ad of a girl hanging on to just a little rock cropping. She was a rock climber, just hanging on by her fingertips. Her muscles were just taut and stiff, and the ad read, "You've got to want it." You've got to want what is in your heart. You've got to want and be able to trust that Spirit is able to deliver. To be able to be in that place of trust and know that there is more to life than what this world is throwing at you, than what this world seems to be expressing, because it is an exciting time in which we live. It is a time in which there is this synergistic convergence of pioneering souls in this emergent field of coming to know the presence of God in a new kind of way, that we become that vortex that delivers the presence of God in a world that is filled with fear. What is going on in our economy and our world has shaken people to the core. They are searching, they are hungering, and they're going to come to you and say their world looks like confetti in a hurricane. And what you get to do is to assist them and realize that there is meaning there. T.S. Eliot said there are people going through experiences and missing the meaning, and they are sitting before you and saying, help me make sense of this. Let me know about God. Tell me about God. Explain to me about God. And what you get to say is, I cannot tell you about God. You are the one who has to experience that presence. You cannot tell anybody about God, but you get to be an example of God made manifest. And so Ernest Holmes, in his last talk in Monterey at the Silmar Peninsula, in a message that became known as his Sermon by the Sea, his last address there, he said, demonstrating a dime is good if you need one. Healing a pain by all means is good if you got one. But beyond that, at the true feast of the tabernacle of the Almighty, in the temple of the living God, in the banquet hall of heaven, there is something beyond what you or I have ever touched. My charge to you today is to touch that something that Ernest told us about at the very end of his life. My charge to you is to know that presence so clearly that when someone comes to you and asks for help, they will be healed. Not because of your activity, but because they will know that they have sat in the presence of God. bless you for your commitment.